Hi, it's been a while. Welcome back to Pure Crack, episode 6. Yeah, 6.
Maybe.
It is 6. Today we're joined by the wonderful Ellen Bannerman.
Ooh. We're going to put sound effects in here.
Yeah.
Like,
oh wow, like fireworks.
Maybe.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're going to do that? Yeah?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll put that in post-production. Yeah, what a way to break our hiatus.
Okay.
We haven't done one in a while.
It's been a hot minute.
for a bit.
We've been really busy.
Yeah.
Really busy.
We've been catching up on sleep, maybe.
Not really.
I'm not sure I've slept since the last one.
No, I've grown a moustache.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
And we like it.
We love it.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you? No, you do like it.
I do like it.
It's very
I
nice,
do think you look like my father.
What does that say about you?
But no, I do actually like it. I've said nice things about it to your face in private and in public.
Wow, yes you have. Other people, mutual friends, do not like it.
The friend I'm thinking of.
Yes, the friend you're thinking of does not like it.
Why? I think it's
Doesn't have taste, it's fine.
Yes.
Jealousy maybe.
Jealousy.
Because he can't grow one.
Exactly.
So,
some people can't.
That could be it. It's almost as good as mine.
Wow. Anyway.
Welcome, Ellen.
Hi. I'm alright. How are you guys?
I'm wonderful. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah.
I've never been on a podcast
You've
before.
never. This is your first time.
This is my first
Welcome.
podcast. You've broken my podcast virginity.
I was going to say that, but I was worried it was weird. It was fine if you said it though.
Yeah, exactly.
When you bring your own virginity up, it's alright.
Yeah, we
it's
can't bring up your. Let's not get into that conversation.
Cut that out.
So,
Welcome. Exciting.
Yes.
you've got a show coming up.
I do
Weeping Woman.
indeed. I do. Weeping Woman. It's on at Theatre 503. I'll just say that into the microphone so everybody hears it.
On the
From the 25th to the 28th of March.
Interesting.
Yes, at Theatre.
Wow.
A short run.
A short run, but hey, short but sweet.
Short but sweet.
but also
exactly.
like a bunch of shows for you to have to hold on your own. Like
Yeah.
let's not limit it's
Yes,
it's still
yeah.
a huge thing.
It's a massive thing, yes.
Is
it's
it?
a great thing.
Is it one person show?
It is. It's one woman show.
Oh yes, of course.
That's
Weeping
right,
Woman.
Yes.
Aaron.
Weeping
Women,
Woman.
ally. We've got 5 days to International Women's Day.
Oh, do we actually?
As of right now,
I
as of
said
recording.
I need to
one
do that.
person, so it's gender neutral, actually. So,
Ally.
it's a one woman show.
It's a one-woman show. It's a feminist body horror set in the visual art world. And it asks the central question, can women ever have ownership of their own narrative when it's been controlled by men for so long? Yeah, I don't know if I need to say any more about it, but
I think that's a pretty good
Well, I mean,
fact.
we'll ask you plenty of questions.
Okay, great.
Well,
Yeah,
it'll
you ask
come
me
up
questions.
again.
Yes, it will come up. It will
But
come. So,
no, it is a really exciting show, and like
yeah.
from the design to the actual like written like the story, the narrative, and the actual script to like the design concepts to like everything that you've got building around it.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
It's really cool.
Yeah, we're so lucky to be working with lovely Iona. It's been fantastic.
What's on stage
What?
award-winning producer.
Oh, what's
Not.
on? Oh, yeah, that is what's changed.
That's also happened.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big thing that's happened.
Everyone, Iona won a What's on Stage award,
Which is fantastic.
which is amazing. But yes, you're working with Iona.
Working with Iona, it's producer, and Grace Duggan, who is also very brilliant. Yeah, so I've been lucky to be surrounded by so many fantastic female creatives, actually, mostly. And yeah, and it's me on stage, and I've written it, and it is a bit mental, actually. I'm slowly starting to realise what I've taken on. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying being off work. Not doing my normal job. Not having like children surrounding me all the time asking me 1,000 questions, and instead I'm just asking other people 1,000 questions every day, all day.
It's a much nicer place to be.
It is so nice.
Yeah.
It's so great.
It's like, you know, the internet talks about like girlfriend brain. When you're like traveling with your boyfriend and you're like dee 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 dee, and you just get like dragged along.
Yeah.
And then like you do it yourself and you're like actually so on it and you obviously are fully capable. But when they're there, not a thought in this head.
Well, exactly. But
you get to have girlfriend brain for all of us.
I don't know if I call it that. It's more like stressed out. No, I'm joking. I'm having
just thinking about everything that's going on in this project that you're holding
all the time. And but you know, actually, it's something that we all have to do at one point in our career.
Of course.
It's
especially
huge.
in theatre.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just lucky to be in this position as well, that I've got funding, which is fantastic. And I should also mention we're partnering with Advance Charity, who are a women's charity in London, who I've worked with before. I've written a short film for them, and I'm running workshops with their service users, and it's like art workshops, and the work that they create then goes on the back wall and makes up. We co-create the set.
Cool. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. And a lot of the themes of the play kind of, I guess, align with the charity's values. And it's always worth mentioning who they are, because nobody knows that they exist, and they actually help thousands. Incredible work. Thousands and thousands of women. They help all around London. And yes, so it's also very exciting.
Brilliant.
Yes.
How have you found the balancing the writer-actor bit?
Asking for
Asking for advice.
It's a bit of a treacherous road. I usually, the last production I did, SEMA, I was just the writer, and that was really great because it was kind of my first play. It was like my second play, but the first one that actually went on stage and was in a production, proper, full production. And that was brilliant because it was just, I just got to experiment with a new craft, and I worked with a really great director called Maddie Corner. And it was great working with her, and together we did a lot of dramaturgy together, and that's kind of where really my craft with writing started. But this time round, it's different. It's just you have another responsibility. So you already have the responsibility of the writer to make sure you're telling the story in the way that you want to, firstly, but also secondly that I guess does justice to the characters and to the themes that you've chosen. And in my case, I guess a lot of the themes that I know that I explore in my writing are to do with feminism and kind of as well, like in SEMA it was about femicide and things like that. So, and then with being an actor, you have the responsibility to then convey all of that and convey those themes in a truthful way, and create a character that honours people's experience, women's experience, or female identifying experiences. And yeah, so it's a different beast, but it's not something that you can't do. It's just I think about separating the two hats.
For sure.
Yeah.
And was there a point in the process where you were like, okay, the writing is done, I'm just an actor now?
No.
Or was there?
No, that's not happened yet. I think with new writing especially, it has to go. We didn't have really an R&D process. I did a couple of scratch nights with it, and then the play kind of developed from there. So we didn't do a huge amount. But I even think with a research and development week, there's actually only so much you can do, because a lot of it is, I guess, kind of, I don't know, it's working out the kinetics of it, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's the right word, but working out the building blocks and how to put it together. And I was lucky that I already had that when we decided to do the run and started rehearsing it. But no matter whatever project I've been on, there will always be faults and plot holes and things that you need to sort, and actually that has come through me learning the text and me really paying attention to things and being more vigilant as an actor. And so that's not happened yet, but that's okay, because that is new writing and that is the beast that you kind of take on, and you've just got to accept it and be at peace with it, that is something that will change. I mean, I think one thing I am now definitely more sympathetic of is with new writing and actors, like, they have a horrible job because they are working with something that is not quite, like, it's there, but they're having to learn new things every day. Like, something can change within minutes, and then it's like 2 more pages that they have to learn, or a new scene they have to learn. And so I'm way more sympathetic to that, because when I was at drama school, we didn't do that. Like, you had a text, nothing was cut, and nothing was added. I mean, we did have like one production of Hamlet where our director was like, we're just going to add something in, we're just going to take a couple of lines out.
Shakespeare didn't think of enough.
Hamlet didn't have enough lines, apparently.
No. So what was your journey with this then? Where did the idea come from, and what stage were you like, okay, I'm going to write this as a one-woman show?
So I started, so basically it's hard, I guess, to pinpoint exactly. I had a dream, right, which is, I guess, quite bizarre, and also like a very, I guess, maybe pretentious thing to say, but I did actually dream it up.
Okay.
And then I thought about it for a really long time, and I love art, and the play is all about art set in the visual art world in like the late 90s, when contemporary art in Britain was changing, but a lot of female artists had to, or didn't have to, but it was kind of, in order to make art, from my perspective, looking at art from that time, it felt like women couldn't just make art for art's sake. It had to be something that served feminism, or served, or they had to reveal themselves in some way that that was then appealing. And also at that time there was like a lot of kind of like poverty porn, like with Britpop and stuff like that, where people were kind of gaining financially off of the back of working class people, and I guess, you know, I'm maybe making broad statements here, and this is just from my perspective, and I'm sure there is other people that would back me up when I say that, but I can't remember where I was, what the question was. How did you, where did that come from? So I've always had an interest, I've always loved art, and so so there's that aspect of it, like me seeing sort of artists from the 90s, female artists having to do that, but also, you know, a lot of their work was in protest against male artists, and also against misogyny and the patriarchy, and that was also really interesting to me. But also I was really privileged in the sense that I had a mother that took me, and a father as well. I have both, I'm so lucky. But you know, they both really encouraged my love of the visual arts and took me to art galleries. And I fell in love with male artists like Picasso and Monet from like a young age, and you know, the classics. And I think for a long time, you know, growing up, I really valued them, and I didn't think about gender until I was older. And then I started realising that what I was looking at, and I really had to question whether these artists served me as a woman, and they didn't, and that was really heartbreaking, I think, in a sense, but also it was necessary for me to realise that, and it, I think as well, it poses like a really vital question in today's society about how we celebrate male artists, because a lot of them did terrible things to women and assaulted women, and we still put them on a pedestal, and it's actually, it's not, I don't think it's not like each other we have to hold accountable, it's like huge institutions like art galleries, to be more specific, that showcase the work of men that have abused women and girls. And I think I felt like that was a story that is relevant today, because we are, unfortunately, we live in a society where we have predators that are leading nations, and who have semi been held to account, but still are able to lead countries and live their lives as free men. And I think it's really important that we keep on reminding people of that, because I think it's easily forgotten. And I think in a sense, like, I hope this play sort of it's about Picasso, and it's about visual artists, but it's also about questioning people questioning people, like men in positions of power, and still holding them in account, and still questioning their positions in society.
And that's an important thing on like a global societal scale, but also down to like within the arts. It's unfortunately something that is so prevalent due to our work styles and our environments, and things that can make our industry so beautiful can also make them so harmful, because it allows people to take advantage and people to abuse circumstances and power, and the fact that people want each other to like each other, because you know who you are as a person sells your job, you know.
Exactly.
So I think it's like it's like such an important conversation to hold, I think, also in this sphere of theatre and of like kind of conversational art, performative art, because it's so, you know, it's so relatable.
It's so relatable,
unfortunately,
and I think as well with Me Too, that did it, I guess, with like Weinstein and stuff, that really did shine a light on our industry, right? But it hasn't really changed that much for us. I don't feel. I think that there is still a lack of support for women in this industry, especially when being on like when you're not at a really high level. Even at this stage, we don't have anything put in place for us. I mean, maybe I'm totally misinformed, but you know, as an actor working in Fringe, I don't really know who I would go to if something happened to me, or if somebody abused a position of power. Do you know, I wouldn't know where to go. And I think it's really important that people still make work about this. And I think people are kind of exhausted by it and exhausted by these narratives, but I'm exhausted as a woman. And I think and I think we need to keep on pushing.
That's the thing, if it wasn't still an issue, people wouldn't still be talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you have to make the noise because no one else is making the noise for
us. Sure.
And like many people of any gender still experience this.
Yes, exactly.
On a regular basis. On that point, I will do a quick safeguarding note for any listeners that on the Sláinte page you can actually find a pinned post with resources to support if you have experienced any form of abuse within the arts industry or in general.
Yes.
Just for that, if anyone
very important.
does want to try and find some support.
So whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Fife.
You're from Fife.
A tiny little village. Iona doesn't like to talk about her village apparently, but I'm going to put mine on the map.
Get it on the internet.
Get it on the, well, actually, so it's called Falkland, and Outlander has filmed there before, so it's kind of already on the map, but I'm going to put it on the map more. Even more. So it's a tiny wee village. We have a wee palace. And
you got a palace?
Falkland Palace.
That's a pretty posh village.
No, it's not posh. It's a wee bit.
I don't know.
I mean, is you're exposed. Want that taken out of the podcast. So it's a really like picturesque village. We have a hill that used to be a volcano, which is very exciting.
That is cool.
I mean, it was a long time ago that it was a volcano, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
That you
But it used to be one.
That you can see that used to be a volcano.
Yeah, it wasn't like last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The rest of us, we just walk and go, that's a hill.
Yeah.
That's a hill, but in my head I'm like, that's Fife's
huge.
Pompeii. But yeah, I come from a little village called Falkland. We have lovely little shops, little coffee shops, great. It's a bit of a tourist, actually it's not a tourist town, it is like a proper village.
I might come now.
You should go, it is really beautiful, and I was really lucky to grow up there. It was really nice.
Yeah. So how did you find yourself in London?
Oh man,
What a journey.
So what a journey. How long have you got? No, it wasn't.
Aaron's like,
5.5 an hour.
Half an hour, and then I'm done. So I left school technically at like 16. I hated school. I'm now starting to realise that I maybe didn't like school because I might be dyslexic.
And it does suck when you're like, well, I can never read and I can't. It's not a good time.
No. I mean, I could read, but...
Brag.
Oh, you're one of those dyslexics that can read? Okay.
God.
But no, I didn't get school. I didn't enjoy it. And that's also, I think I've got ADHD, so that's partially probably why as well that I didn't enjoy it so much. And I was like, get me out of here, I do not want to be here. And I went to college in Edinburgh. I started I turned like 17 in the summer, and then I went to college and I did an NC there, and I hate NC. And then I got into drama school, and then I went to Central School of Speech and Drama. You both
all of
went.
us are.
All of us. No way.
High five.
Central sponsor us. Sorry, back onto you.
Sorry.
You came down to Central. You graduated 2018.
Yes.
But those years, like you just, I don't know what I was going to say about them. You just did drama school. Like it's tough. You guys do like 500 hours a day.
Yeah. We use up all the hours in the day every day. But yeah, no, I enjoyed aspects of it. Other parts were really difficult.
Yeah.
But I also, I'm a good actor because of it, and I know that I'm a good actor because of the training. Some aspects of the training, some aspects not so much. But then the great thing about drama school as well is that you pick and choose. Like, you don't, not everything will work for you. Or I found like I was really terrible at animal studies. I failed my giraffe. Very famous story.
You failed your giraffe.
I failed my giraffe.
God.
I know.
Do you think
so
you're
sad.
more of like a flamingo girl, or?
I think I am a giraffe. Like, that's what's really devastating about it. Is I think I probably, if I were to be any animal, I would be a giraffe. I am mostly leg, and
But not enough neck.
not enough.
No.
Oh my god.
God.
I thought I was here to come for a podcast.
Actually, it's here. This is
Existential
Central crisis here. We'll just tell you what's wrong with you.
Yes,
We have
exactly.
notes.
So
Bring
actually,
on your movement teacher.
you'll never be a giraffe for the next one long enough. Deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it. So no, and now I'm trying to do an animal study for this, for the play I'm doing now, just to see if it might work. So I think as well, like the one thing that my movement teacher Vanessa, who was like amazing and great, she said is a 10-year plan, and I think that's something that's really important to remember. That I'm not a movie star. That's okay. It's a process. It takes a really long time for some people, but that's okay. You've just got to try and be in the moment of it and not worry so much about what is maybe coming next or maybe not coming next. And but yeah, it's definitely like a 10-year plan.
That's a really good way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
And as an actor, it's very easy to fall into the trap of, oh my god, I'm running out of time. what am I doing next month? What am I doing for the rest of this year? What's going on?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I think I would go mental if I constantly was worried about what I wasn't doing.
Yeah.
And it's better actually to think about what you are doing. And if you make a list of what you are doing, it will be significantly like longer and better than the list of things that you're not doing, or you aren't, or you know, or don't feel like you're, you know, or the goals that you're not reaching, you know. And I think it's a really important thing to realize that, you know, this industry is really fucking hard. And it is just going to take longer sometimes, but also, you know, your path isn't going to be the same as somebody else's, and get off social media as well.
Boo, social media,
because it's so easy to look at what other people are doing and going, why am I not doing that?
Yeah.
And it's just like massive FOMO, you know. So yeah,
100%.
yeah.
You get that thing of being like a year ago did I think I'd be here now? No. But it is that thing of like, you see them on Instagram and they're really cringy, and it's like, past you would be jealous of who you are now.
I fucking hate that.
You know what I mean? But then sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, never did I think I'd live in London. Never did I think I'd actually do this for a job. I think, you know, when I was 13, I'd be like, I'll be an artist. And then I was like, I'll probably be a doctor. And then I realised can't read, so didn't get there. But like, Aaron did want to be a doctor, so
really?
This is actually really funny.
Oh my god.
But you know what I mean? Like, you do have to take those moments, and like, you have to like actively get your brain in that mode, because you're so trained to be like, this is wrong, we're not hitting this, and it's like, actually, wow, what I have done is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I
absolutely.
had it in August.
Yes.
So I did biomedical sciences for 3 years.
Wow.
Because when I left school, I wanted to be a doctor.
Yes.
So my best mate on my course, this guy Tom. We met fresh, like the first time of first week, and we were like chatting. We were in the exact same situation. We both wanted to be doctors. We both didn't get into medical school. We were both doing this degree to then go and do medicine. Right? Yeah. And in August, I saw that he'd just graduated from medicine, and that he was now doctorhood. And I was sitting here and I was like, I had a complete crisis, because I was like, oh my god, like, we were in the exact same boat. He's not a doctor. But he's also got 5 years of training left to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to then be like, oh, he's not, like, he's still got so much training to do. For sure, but also, I mean, it's so, not to put down his achievement, it's still very amazing, but like, of course, but it was then, but it was like August. I mean, the next month we were putting on strings. I live in London. I'm happy with my choices. I never regretted not becoming a doctor. You know, so it was just looking at it objectively, being like, you're being stupid, because would you actually want to be a doctor right now? No, you're doing cool things. Yeah, you know.
I think as well, it's worth noting. I mean, I looked at your questions earlier that you didn't send me, but maybe it just came into my brain. About like a Scottish saying that you like, and I was thinking about this on the train here.
I know what it's going to be.
Do you know it? What's for you won't go by you.
Yeah, it's both of our favourites.
I was like, this is a great original one that nobody will have thought of.
Our first episode, I was like, this is mine. He's like, it's mine. I was like, sorry, Scottish, Irish, get out. But
that's an Irish thing.
No, he just is a Scottish mega fan.
My mum said it to me. I've heard people in Belfast say it too. He said, maybe,
I feel like it's on as well, like a lot of plaques and things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
very not goodbye.
It's like on like postcards and Highland cows and stuff.
I think people sent it to me a lot when I moved here.
Yeah,
sort of thing. Like, it was like, you're still Scottish, but you're following your dream.
You're following your
exactly. But no, that's our favourite as well. Which is nice. As an artist, it's like,
you need it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, but I think it's worth saying though that I sometimes feel as an artist and whatever is that it's a vocation, right? And I think a lot of the time it kind of picks you. Yes, I'm very privileged in the sense that I have been able to pursue this career. Not many people can because of various, you know,
barriers,
exactly. But I think I just think that this picks you. Like I think sometimes you just don't have a choice. This was your fate, this is what you were meant to do. It didn't go by you had to do it.
But you see it with, I mean, obviously I wanted to be a doctor, we've spoken about that, but you see it a lot with doctors because they're obsessed with people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very
it's so caring and it's so people sharing.
Which is the same with acting, and any real art is about people and it's about humanity and what it is to be a person. And I think that's why I'm an actor, because it's like I'm obsessed with people, you know. So that was a nice segue, actually.
That was a good. I think
great
that's a good segue.
Maybe you should be in the podcast.
Do you want to run the podcast, because we're
guys
garbage? I was gonna say sugar plum fairies.
Yes,
wow, that's very inventive.
So you've already said you're Irish or Scottish. Saying
yes.
You've already identified if you're Irish or Scottish.
Yes, we've already identified. So Scottish, great.
Yes.
Glad we got to the bottom of that. It's only taken us 40 minutes. Where's your favourite place in London?
Oh my gosh. I did think about this. I think this is really boring. A really boring answer.
No.
I like all the parks. I like all the green
That's not a boring
spaces.
answer at all.
So many people say a pub. It used to
really?
be, what's your favourite pub? And I made him take it out because I was like, we can't be that.
I mean, I
we
can
can't
tell
be
you
that
my favourite pub, but
what's your favourite pub?
I've got a couple. I really like is it called the Plimsoll in Finsbury Park?
I've heard it's good. I haven't been, but I've heard it's good.
You should go. It's nice.
Where is it in Finsbury Park?
It's like near the station. Kind of. It's not near the. I actually don't know. It's like, do you know what? It's kind of on like a residential street. And it kind of looks like you're going into somebody's living room at first, and you go in and it's just like there's a really nice pub.
I'm gonna do it.
You should go.
I'm always
nice.
there, and I'm always on the same one, which is fine.
Fine.
It does a great, apparently, steak sandwich. I don't eat meat, but I've heard.
I've heard great things.
My friends go on about it all the time. I went for my birthday years ago, and they still talk about that sandwich they had.
Oh, nice. And I also like the Old Shillelagh, but everybody probably says that on this podcast.
No, actually, that's the first we've had that one.
Old Shillelagh, no way.
That's the first we've had Old
Oh, I
Shillelagh.
love it. It's close to where I live.
Yeah. Oh.
It's not like really close. It's just
you're
like
naming
nearby.
your town. You're giving landmarks to your home. Come on.
But yeah, no, all the green spaces.
Do you have a particularly favourite park or green space?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like during COVID, I don't have like a specific one, but two of my really good friends, three actually, one has now moved away, but three of them that I grew up with, I would go, they are kind of live in Camden. I don't know, I can say where they live, it's fine, they don't know who they are. They kind of live in Camden, and we would take really long walks around Regent's Park, Primrose Hill, and that's also, you know, I was close to like Central, close to Primrose Hill and stuff, and I think that was how when we grew up when we were growing up, we went on long walks like around woods and stuff, and we were outside all the time, but it was always it was always like a time of reflection and a time to, you know, I think in London it's really difficult existing. It's really hard, and I always took solace in being with them, and I took solace in comfort in just having a laugh and just talking and just talking to Scottish people as well, because it sometimes feels like a different language, and they were home when my family was so far away, and that's where we spent a lot of time, or that's where we, I guess, shared a lot of grief and shared a lot of important kind of formative years, you know, being 19 and not knowing what I was doing, you know, being heartbroken and then falling in love and then being heartbroken again, all of those kind of things. Not that my whole life is just like about romance, but also, you know,
the big moments that you go through and that your friends hold you through, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And I was really lucky as well that I had friends from home, friends from Scotland that just knew me really well, and that I could, you know, that they just were there whenever I need, and they still are. And yeah, I also like running. I'm a big runner. So
I don't know that about you.
But Primrose Hill is like probably a bit of like or like that area. I mean, I don't now. It's like more like I like kind of the marshes and stuff, and because it's a bit more wild. But yeah, like going to drama school and then having those spaces was really like actually quite vital.
For sure.
And yeah,
I went to Richmond Park not that long ago.
I know.
The first time.
Saw on Instagram.
Oh, with the deer.
Great.
Oh.
Yeah, have you been?
No,
You should go. You would
really.
Love it. It's great. It's so nice. It's maybe my new favourite place in London.
Really?
I
need to go.
It's amazing.
Big.
I love deer, and we saw kestrel as well.
No way.
Really cool.
Oh, so cool.
Really cool. Anyway,
okay.
Complete.
And Aaron loves deer. You're like, you know, I love deer, and it's just a funny thing to say.
Well, you know, obviously.
I do love a deer. They're very cute.
I mean, selling point, there is deer in the play, or mentions of deer in my play. So if you're a deer fan, oh dear. Sorry. It would be
oh my god,
a great idea to come see my play. There you go.
Yes, very nice.
Is the writing better than that?
Excuse me,
Aaron. Actually, your time on the podcast is done.
that was some top quality marketing material.
Worked on it.
Is there an Irish or Scottish, we'll say in this instance, well, actually, no, we'll leave it open, Irish or Scottish creative that's left a lasting impact with you, or that you believe deserves more recognition?
You know what, we'll leave it open. Leave it open to what?
Irish or Scottish.
Oh, Irish or Scottish. Oh,
I was going to say...
He's hoping you'll name him.
I didn't want to say. No, because I was going to say just Scottish. But hey, we'll keep it open in the spirit of the company.
The spirit of the company, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have really thought about this at length, quite painful. I am going to say a visual artist, because I feel like that's maybe not something that you get.
Yeah.
And it as well as in the spirit of the play. So in my village, I grew up with an art class with my mum's friend Sandra Davies, who's also a fantastic, amazing visual artist. And I went to her like adult art class on a Thursday, and I wanted to go to art college for a really long time, and then like I don't know what happened, and then I just kind of had like an aneurysm and was like, no, I'm going to be an actor. But I did want to be an artist for a really long time, and anyway, and she also was like very she was very encouraging, like this Sandra, this art teacher, and she showed me a lot of, and like introduced me to a lot of artists that have like really stayed with me, and one of them was Joan Ardley, who is a Scottish artist. She is or was queer, they think. I don't know how much evidence there is to suggest that, but when I've gone to exhibits and stuff, it's kind of mentioned that she had a very close companion, or very close female companions. And what I love about her work, I actually used one of her paintings in my play Sima, so she was like around in the, I think around like 50s and 60s, and she had two studios. So she had one studio in Glasgow and then another one in Aberdeen, and she really captures, I guess, the wildness of Scotland. I think a lot of the world is used to seeing a very polished side to our nation, and the paintings that she did in Glasgow were actually of children, So she would invite them into her studio and give them like satsumas, which sounds a bit dodgy. That sounds so dodgy.
You started that as like, oh.
No, I think it was, I mean, like, there's been like, you know, nobody has come out and said anything, but I'm sure
it was as
completely
innocent as it could be,
yeah. But it was kind of in the slums of Glasgow, and you know, she set them with a bag of sweets or like a satsuma and paint them, and yeah, there's something about those portraits which are really full of, I don't know, joy and love, but also are quite eerie and quite sad as well. And I think actually some would say maybe a bit dystopian, and I think it's relevant today. You know, we're living in a country that is slowly losing its integrity when it comes to caring for the community and being accountable for taking care of everybody. You know, cuts here and there and whatever, and sorry, it's probably not very articulate in terms of talking about politics, but and she captures a time in which social mobility hadn't really started, and I think, yeah, and the imagery is like just really strong and beautiful. And then she also paints these beautiful like sea landscapes that are, I guess, sort of beautiful in their ugliness, and they're just very raw and great, and I love them. And yeah, and it's a Scotland that I relate to.
Yeah, I think that's a lovely way to talk about Scotland. Like, I think Scotland is ugly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Scotland's ugly, and that's what is so charming about it. Like, it's so just like, it is what it is. Yeah. And I think, not to plug Sunshine on Leith, the film that I'm not at all involved in, but it is my favourite film. You know, when they walk up the hill, and he talks about like how we look, well, he sings a Misty Blue, and he talks about how we look at Scotland through like dirty glasses. Yeah. And we are just like, it's amazing, and it is amazing because the people are, and the passion for it is. But actually, like, you walk through parts of Glasgow and you go, oh God, and it's like that because of the history of the people who've lived there, like the shipyards and everything. But yeah, like, Scotland, it is ugly, and it should be, because all countries are, you know what I mean? Like, exactly. But I think its admittance of it's ugly is what is so charming about it.
And I think as well, you know, we shouldn't forget that, I mean, I think Ireland maybe more so, but we were, and kind of still are, oppressed by the English. And that does run in our veins.
Yeah, like, the Union was never 100% voted in thing by Scotland. It was always a protested thing. And then also at the end of the day, like, the Highlands, you know, don't exist because well, they do exist, but in a very different light as they used to, because they were literally murdered, killed and sent away. That's a true thing. But it's also a thing we're not taught in schools, and it's a thing that no one acknowledges, including the Irish, and it's a problem we've had in the company, is that people will be like, why would Scotland and Ireland don't have relatable stories? And it's like, in lots of ways they don't, but in lots of ways they do, and it's that Scotland doesn't have claim to its own.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. I mean, it is also worth saying that I'm pretty sure there were Scottish settlers in Ireland.
There's Scottish settlers in Ireland, there's Scottish settlers in Sri Lanka. We did that shit.
We're not squeaky clean at all. But we still, there is an element to our history which is
for sure.
Interesting.
We were oppressed.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I like Joan Ardley a lot.
Yeah. That's so cool. I've never, to my mind, haven't heard of her, and really want to look her up now.
You should. It's beautiful stuff, and she does crazy shit as well. Like, she just puts like field crap and like just sticks on the canvas, and you're just like, yes.
Gritty.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah, and she's not well known. So.
Yeah,
that's good. How does your heritage influence your work?
How does my heritage influence my work? I think in London we do not have enough regional voices. Scotland is unfortunately still part of the UK, and no, I'm joking. Unfortunately, but we are still part of the UK, and we deserve to be represented in our theatres down here and across the country. And you know, the National Theatre does not represent us. Like, they just don't. Let's be honest. I don't care who hears this. It's true. And so
I famously haven't seen anything in the National the whole time I've lived here, or ever.
I've never seen anything.
And I now like have to never see, because it feels like such a strong thing, but it's because I've never cared to. Do you know what I mean? Like, they've never had something that feels like it's someone I know, or feels like a story that I've understood, or a story that would come from people that I care about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would say that, you know, I think that they do great things, and I think they represent great communities and diverse communities, or maybe it's better to say like people of a global majority, and that's really important, because those are stories that need to be told and aren't being told. So I will say that. But I think, you know, I'm the same. I've never seen a Scottish play in that space. Why? We've got writers, we've got talent.
Yeah,
we absolutely do. And I guess, maybe to answer your question more directly, because I've gone on a bit of a tangent, is that, you know, my heritage is my identity. I identify as Scottish, and I will, it doesn't matter where I live in the world, and how long I live out of Scotland, that will always be who I am. You know, that will never be taken away from me. And I think, I think it's really important to tell those stories, because they're not being told and they're not being represented across the UK. And B, I think the landscape of Scotland and the landscape of Fife, where I'm from, is a really interesting one. And often I think, you know, Fife is a really strange kind of juxtaposition. You like have St Andrews, which is like really rich, loads of Americans, and then like American students and stuff like go there, and people go there for the golf, like Samuel L. Jackson and everything's like been there. It's crazy. And then you'll have like a town like Methil, which is like maybe like 45 minutes away, which is just so deprived. It's like one of the most deprived areas in the whole of the UK. And I think is like that in itself is a really brilliant metaphor for what our country is. Like, just places that have been completely left behind and forgotten about and scooped out.
Methil's such an interesting example, because what happened Methil came from Thatcher. Thatcherism.
Really?
Because it was an industry-based town.
Yeah, it's there's lots of coal mining towns in Fife.
Right.
And as well, I think I was just going to say that I think that, you know, the characters that I write and the women I write on stage, I have maybe I've not grown up working class. I'm like lower middle class, but my mum was working class, and you know, I come from a single parent household, and I do think that there are not enough stories about working class women or lower middle class women that have agency, who are intelligent, and also funny, you know, and I feel a huge responsibility to put that on stages, and
to be intelligent and also funny.
It's true, and there aren't enough depictions of women like that on stage. I think more so working class women. And you know, maybe later in my career I will not be the person to do that, but you know, we are not living in currently we do not live in a society where working class people have opportunities. I would love to see that, but right now it just isn't happening. So yeah, and also colloquialisms and colloquial language is great. And needs to be kept alive and like recognised. Sorry, that was a really long answer to your one
but question. It was a really good touch on so much.
Don't apologise for a second.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
It's his job to cut it down. That's his
I know,
job.
you're
And usually it's us that get cut. Like, we ramble.
We talk
about stuff that's not relevant. Like,
Just
you're the relevant thing.
Exactly.
What you think is
yeah,
relevant.
people are interested in hearing you, not us. What advice would you give to someone moving to London from Fife, from Falkland?
From Falkland, from tiny village. I would say don't go to London first. Go to a city first. Like, go to Glasgow or Edinburgh. I'd say just take help. Like, if help is offered for you, just fucking take it.
Yeah.
You're not going to prove, you're not smart by not taking it. You're not going to prove anything to anybody. I think just give it a go. Like, it is going to take maybe a year for you to get, like, in it and get the rhythm of the city. And I think it's hard if you don't come down to an institution and you're just, like, completely on your own, right?
Yeah.
Because my friends saved me. Like, they just, you know, friends at drama school, friends from home. And I was incredibly lucky because, you know, I had a community down here. But I'd say, yeah, just give yourself time to, like, get into the rhythm of it. Take help. Don't be proud, and just grab it with both hands, because it is, like, your first year here is terrifying, but it's also brilliant. Like, because you just meet, I mean, I remember once somebody said to me in a bar, they were like, everybody in London is running away from something. And that's kind of true, I think, to an extent. You know, people that are not from London, who grew up in London, are running away either from their family or for themselves.
From just that life.
And so that is what kind of makes it a really exciting and interesting city. Unfortunately, it's just not accessible to everybody because it's so expensive. And that is also something worse, and, you know, like, always good to know as well.
And I think that's the important thing. It's always that conversation of, like, you don't have to come. You don't have to do drama school. You don't have to do any of this.
Absolutely.
Like, Scotland has its own industry. Scotland has its own opportunities. Are they all accessible? No. Are they, you know, there's so many issues with them as well. But it's always that conversation of, like, I think something that's just a lot of people are talking about right now is, like, a lot of people move to London to enter the arts industry, and a lot of people, you're told to, you have to. And it is that conversation, like, do you have to, or, you know? I
mean, look, I would have...
You never know.
I would have loved to have stayed in Scotland, but I didn't get a place at RCS.
Right? Yeah, and there's no course that I could do there.
No.
That's why I could.
Exactly. So it's like, what are you supposed to do? Just wait around until they create one? Or, like...
And then I thought I'd leave right after my course and go back and work in Scotland, and I got told by producers in Scotland not to.
Really?
Because they're just like, there's not a job for you. You know, there's 6 theatres. There's not a job for you. There's no freelance climate. Like, the best thing you can do is stay there, unfortunately. And, like, you know, now we've built our company and we've built our lives and all these things. But, like, it is that issue of being like, you can only do so much in certain... you know, you can only grow to the size of your vase.
Is that it?
No, pot. What do plants grow in?
Pots.
Yeah.
Pots.
That one. Pots. Nice. Cool. Well,
amazing.
Thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you for having me. I hope I've been okay.
No,
you've been amazing. This has been a great chat. It's good for us. It'll be fine for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's genuinely been really, really wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's been wonderful for me too.
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it as much
I
as
did, yeah. I love talking.
Good thing it's your job.
Yeah, it's my job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That helps.
Go see Weeping Woman, 25th to 28th of
Go
March.
see it. That's a demand.
Go see it. If you don't, we'll find you. 25th to 28th of March, Theatre 503.
You regret it if you don't, that's what I
You will regret it.
It's also really, like, anti-feminist not to go see it.
Yeah, basically, if you don't
you know? Do you hate women? Do you hate marginalised people in the arts? Sounds like you do.
If you don't go. If you do go,
ally.
you're great. You're a wonderful person, and you can do no wrong.
We'll give you a gold star.
Well, I'm not.
I don't have a gold.
I don't know. We'll give you a gold
My
star.
Arts Council funding doesn't have gold stars.
You approach me, I'll find you a gold star.
We'll give you a theoretical
give
gold
you
star. We'll say, here is a gold star in spirit.
Yes.
Well,
Thanks.
Also, we've got a Paddy's Day event with Camden Market.
gosh, we do.
Come to that as well.
Big old Camden Market.
Big old Camden Market. It's 15th of March, Dingwalls. Paddy's Day.
7:30.
7:30. You'll see it on our Instagram.
It'll be really fun.
It'll be a really fun time.
A load of people. Ellen, in fact, took part in it last year. You just showed
I
it.
did. Oh yeah, I wrote something. I did for lovely Siobhan.
Yeah,
for lovely Siobhan.
Siobhan. Who is Irish. So
is
that
Irish.
was allowed.
That was allowed.
Yes.
She is Irish, and it was very funny and very
Yes,
good.
it was very, very good. Come along to that. We'd love to see you there. Yeah. Cheers.
Perfect.
Thanks for coming on.
No, thank
Bye.
Goodbye.
See you later.